Okay, so now let's talk about a bit about what happened this past week, because we had two big, as you can see, the fandom here, like we moved through stuff very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the easiest one, like the remixes. Do you think there's something wrong with putting out a million remixes?
No. Just point blank, no. But the reason I think that, first and foremost, is nobody is being misled here. There's no confusion about what your money is going toward. If BTS didn't have the fandom to pull that off, or if they thought, people for some reason were not going to be receptive to that promotional tactic, then they wouldn't have done it, or people would have responded by not buying them. But clearly they took a calculated, I wouldn't even say risk, they made a calculated decision based on their fans listening and buying habits, and it paid off. Again, like I wrote yesterday, every artist, when you are performing at a certain level of fame, when you're an artist who's accustomed to charting #1 hits on the Hot 100 or on the Billboard 200, you're going to have to play this game, and the only difference is how you choose to play that game. I don't think that there's anything worse about selling multiple remixes of a song than there is about bundling your music with merchandise or with concert tickets, or creating a, reverse engineering some sort of viral dance or social media challenge to accompany your song. In fact, I think that making remixes, like I said in my article, I think that's more honest than all of those other tactics, because again, you're giving people the opportunity to buy music, which last time I checked is what the entire purpose of the Billboard charts is, to gauge what music is popular.
I would agree. Why do you think there was so much anger about it? Anyway, two things. Why do you think Billboard felt the need to emphasize it regarding BTS when they don't usually do that? And why was there so much anger about BTS using remixes to chart?
Well, I want to be transparent up front. I'm also a Billboard contributor. And so I have I have nothing negative to say about Billboard, my editors or my peers at Billboard. And as far as, their social media teams go, I have no idea why they make, any decision one way or another. I did think it was curious that they did tweet that, just because, I haven't seen them make clarifying tweets like that before about other artists who have, used other tactics to get their songs or their albums to #1. It's totally possible that they have tweeted them and I just never noticed it. In which case, that's fine. I'm not I won't, make a big claim about that one way or the other. But I guess some people's problem with it was the fact that, how many remixes or how many total versions of the song are available now? Is it 10?
I think so. But yeah.
Right. So I guess, so I've seen the argument from some people that, because up to 4 sales of a certain song or album count toward Billboard, because there are 10 different versions of the song available, you can, 4 times 10 means that there are up to 40 different opportunities to buy Dynamite and, have 40 different sales count toward the Hot 100. And I guess, that made certain people upset, because they just thought that 40 different versions of a song or 40 chances to help it chart on the Hot 100 was just too much. That was crossing a line for certain people. That seems to be part of the argument, particularly from people in other music fandoms.
Isn't that how Old Town Road charted as well, right?
Yeah, I was just on Twitter right before this, and I did see somebody else mention that I think there were 19 different remixes of Old Town Road. Not to mention, I'm pretty sure the one that became a #1 hit was the primary remix with Billy Ray Cyrus on it. Yeah, it's so many artists do different, club remixes, dance house remixes, all sorts of different remixes on their hits. The difference is you normally don't hear about many of them because not many fans are very eager to tune into these,
Yeah.
relatively unknown remixes. Whereas with BTS, people wanted to check out all the different remixes. And I mean, I've always maintained that whatever you do with your hard-earned money is your decision. No one can tell you how to spend that. And if, if Army wants to put 10, 20, 30, $40 toward supporting BTS and supporting Dynamite and helping that song chart better, then they are fully within their means and their rights to do so.
I would agree. Like it's like every person does whatever they want with their money. Anyway, I wanted to ask, like in Forbes, how does it work? Like we've seen sometimes you write something, sometimes you McIntyre write something, sometimes Tamar Herman or Jeff Benjamin write stuff. Like how does it work?
Yeah, well, we are all part of the Forbes contributor network. None of us are on staff at Forbes. And so there's a huge network of contributors for all different topics across their website. So we're part of the Hollywood and entertainment pool. We're kind of, we're some of the, I guess, primary music writers. Tamar and Jeff focus on a lot more K-pop acts. Hugh and I are more, I would say, generalist. We cover a lot of different stuff that's going on in the charts. I'll occasionally go into more rock or punk or alternative territory. But lately, as I'm sure you've noticed, I focused a lot of my coverage on BTS. But yeah, we kind of, I think we've kind of carved out, and this is kind of all unspoken. We communicate over email sometimes, but I think we've all kind of carved out different lanes for ourselves. Hugh is great at hopping on, what is happening on the charts day to day, week to week. Tamar and Jeff, they do a lot of interviews and just great in-depth reported coverage of a variety of artists. I do some of the chart and milestone stuff as well. But I also have a real passion for kind of digging into, I guess, the value behind what BTS is accomplishing in the music industry, trying to put it in context with what other artists in the industry are doing at a similar scale, and just why exactly that is important. In a couple of the different places that I write for regularly, being plugged into social media and writing kind of through that internet lens is a big part of my work. And so that translates to Forbes as well. And so I really like to, keep an eye out on Twitter to see like what is kind of the cultural conversation right now. What is the thing that has people really excited or really fired up? And if there's a way that I can relate that to, the actual business of music, then that's a win. That's kind of what I was able to do in two of my recent stories that I know you read, and they were both really rewarding to write.
They were very rewarding to read as well. Like I think I will be like, people will immediately all unfollow me if I will not tell you that we really appreciate you putting that effort and writing those, writing your articles in general. We really appreciate the spin you put on it, because before you started writing these sort of articles, we were very happy when we got like an articles with just plain facts. Just give us the facts, we're good with that. But the usual people that write that started doing stuff like, has the biggest comeback, whose collaboration is the biggest, and that's just pointless. I hate comparing. Like you said, people can like many groups. There's no sense in comparing two acts. But seeing you actually take into account exactly like how BTS contributions to music is on the world scale and all that stuff that's going on, on the internet, and seeing how people relate to them and dismiss them or appreciate them, and you giving that extra depth, that extra oomph in an article, we really appreciate that, and it was so needed. So thank you, really.
Well, thank you, really, to anyone who's watching this or to anyone who's read and had anything positive to say or shared it or just enjoyed it. Seriously, thank you. The reason I write is so that people have something to read. And I really appreciate y'all's feedback. And again, it's really gratifying to kind of be able to, again, contextualize and voice the, the concerns and just I feel like it's like checking the temperature of the fandom or of, the Twitter community, and just being able to put that out on a platform such as Forbes, I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I wanted to ask you about working at Forbes. Is it hard to get an article approved? Is there a lot of like bosses and managers like making sure it's what they want you to say or something like that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I won't get super specific about that, but long story short, at this point, no, it's not that difficult. The way that the contributor network works is that you apply to be a part of it, and then once you're accepted, which there are hundreds, maybe thousands of contributors in a variety of different subjects, but once you are accepted, you kind of have agency to write within your swim lane or within your kind of area of expertise, kind of as much as you want and whenever you want. I think there has to be some sort of business or, kind of financial element to it, but that's kind of implicit in anything that happens in the music business, especially with a group like BTS, because so much of the news about them is like different records they're breaking, different sales milestones they're achieving. So, yeah, at that point, no, there's not a whole lot of hoops that I have to jump through. It just becomes a matter of like, is this, is this story something that I feel would be appropriate fit for Forbes? That would make sense for me to tell, and kind of splitting that difference between like, all right, is this like some sort of quick newsy article about like a record they broke that has to go up like super fast, or is it something that is like a more extended take that kind of ties in more of the social context, like some of the pieces that we talked about last week, something that I can take a little bit longer to like formulate my argument and give it the time and space it deserves.
Okay. Do your have your articles, like, have your peers read them? Like, did you get any feedback on them? Good, bad?
Not really from any of my other Forbes colleagues. We kind of all, we have different schedules and like different sort of lanes that we stay in, and so we have like daily emails where we'll discuss different stories, but that's kind of it. We don't have a whole lot of interaction on a regular basis. So I've gotten some feedback from other peers within, music journalism and the media, mostly on Twitter and sometimes on LinkedIn, which is always kind of funny. But that's about it.